morning. I too just really want to start by saying the overwhelming majority of Victorians every day are doing the right thing, from wearing masks when they're required to, from not leaving home unless for those 4 reasons, people who are not trying to get into non-restricted areas, people in Geelong now who are not having visitors, and I want to thank them because it is the overwhelming majority of Victorians. However, we are still continuing to see appalling behaviour. Appalling behaviour that I know Victorians themselves are fed up with, and you see that every day, people making comments about that. I'm fed up with it. Victoria Police are fed up with it. Can I be really clear, just in case there's any doubt at all, that there is absolutely no reason or need to drive from Melbourne to Wodonga to have a Big Mac. And that's one of the fines that was issued yesterday. There's absolutely no reason or need to drive from Melbourne to Ballarat for fresh air. There's absolutely no reason to drive from Werribee out to Springvale to buy groceries. They're just 3 of the fines that we saw issued yesterday. And behaviour that is, again, you ask why are people, why would people think that that's okay? They either don't care. It can't be because people aren't aware of the rules. I think there's no question when Victoria Police pull people over, they're aware of the rules, but yet have made a decision to blatantly breach the Chief Health Officer's directives. And those people all received a fine yesterday, as did people who decided having an Airbnb party was okay, and they all get issued with the $1,652 fine, or the people who continue to operate and go to a brothel. So they're, again, fines and behaviour that is appalling and unacceptable and does need to stop. We all have a role to play in this. Victoria Police, their PSOs, the ADF, working side by side, are out there doing what they need to do in order to stop the spread, work with Victorians, provide reassurance to Victorians, but to hold those people to account who are displaying a blatant disregard for the directives that have been issued. Directives that are tough, I know, for many people, but the directives that most Victorians are abiding by, and that all those Victorians expect everyone to abide by those directives, or for Victoria Police to hold them to account. So we've now reached the point where Victoria Police have done over 200,000 checks. So that's the community checks out and about in communities, making sure that we don't have mass gatherings, making sure people are at home, making sure that people are abiding by the 4 restrictions, making sure that people are wearing masks. So over 200,000 checks, a significant amount of work from Victoria Police. In terms of the road checks, they've now reached over 452,000 checks on our roads since the road stops were put into place. A significant amount of work, working side by side with the ADF. I know today out with Victoria Police we have about 247 ADF staff working side by side with police at those stop points, but also out in the community at key areas, whether it might be the tan or where we know we've got particular groups encouraging people to breach the directives, cycling groups, for example. So together ADF and Victoria Police are working side by side to make sure people are following the directives. We've also got our police on our train stations, at ferries. We've got our PSOs out in the community doing checks. We've got PSOs at train stations. So if you're thinking of using a whole, back roads, if you're thinking you can get around these rules, find ways to get around the rules, Victoria Police will be there. They don't want to be doing this. They don't want to be fining people. That's not their role. That's not how they work. But they will do this because they know it's in the best interests of Victorians and Victoria's health. And it's the best way we can get out of these lockdowns if we all abide by those rules. So I want to thank every member of Victoria Police, every PSO, every member of the ADF who are working with us. They are doing an extraordinary job, an incredible job, a job that no one imagined they would have to play. And in my view, they are playing such a role that it is about saving lives and protecting Victorians. And I want to thank each and every member. And the way you can thank Victoria Police members is do the right thing.